Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Well, first of all, we would like to thank you for inviting us at this seminar, and we're really very happy that we can share our story with you all. And maybe you can start a video. Yeah, that's the one. Well, let's first introduce ourselves. We are Wilma leemakers and Jim Kuijper from the Netherlands. And most people know us as the adoptive parents of Eline. You've seen her, the girl who found her birth parents in China. Eline is now 15 years old, and we have also a second daughter, Annelie. She's now 12 years old, and she's also from China. And almost 6 years ago, we came into contact with the birth parents of Eline, and that very special occurrence had extensive coverage in the media, including internet, and we were at least one of the first adoptive families that came into contact with the original family in China. And since then, we have visited the Chinese family a couple of times, and we still have regular contact with them, mostly by phone or internet. And today we would like to give you some insight in what having this contact means to us, to our daughters, and last but not least, to the family in China. But let us start at the beginning.
I think we were the last people expecting that this would happen to us. Okay, sorry. I think we were the last people expecting that it would happen to us. Why? Because to us, as adoptive families, it was told that all children who are adopted from China were abandoned, living in orphanages without any information on the original family or birth parents. Jim and I always expected that as a fact. We did not have the attention to look for the birth parents. We adopted Eline Wanyin in August 1997, when she was officially 9 months old. From our guide, we learned the name of a finder, and also there was a red note with her. Our guide, Mrs. Helen Huang, was able to make a copy of this note. She translated the letter for us, and we noticed one strange issue on it. The date of birth did not match. There was a date according to the Chinese lunar calendar and a date according to the Western calendar. These dates did not correspond with each other. There was 1 month difference between them. We did not pay attention to that moment. We did not pay attention to that at all at that moment. And afterwards, it turned out to be a very special clue, something only the original family would know. As a family, we were always very open that our children were adopted. During these years, Eline started questioning us about her birth family, if we knew them, where they live, and what they look like. In the beginning, these were just questions, but during the years, the emotions with these questions grew and grew. She often burst in tears, screaming and yelling. But still, we did not have the intention to look for her birth parents. Why? Just because it was impossible. When she became 7 years old, she has also another question. Mama, if you found my parents in China, where do I have to live? For me, it was not like she was asking where she had to live, but if we found her birth parents as adoptive family, also put her away, that we also would leave her, that she would not be welcome anymore in our life. I told her that it was very easily. Until she becomes 18 years old, she would be living with us, and after that, if she decided to live with her family in China or somewhere else, it would be her decision.
Until 2004, we did not have the slightest idea how to handle this, searching for her birth parents. We sometimes read about searching on the internet, but then there was less information available than nowadays. End of 2004, a friend of ours told us that he had a colleague from China, Ms. Jocelyn Liu, who came from the same areas as Eline. He had to transfer part of his work to her, and he had been very helpful. He also told her about our girls and how Eline was so emotional about not knowing who her birth parents were. We think that because our friend did so much for her, she offered us her help. What would you do in this situation? Someone offers help. We do not have anything to lose. Less information than we have is not possible. We can only gain more information. We decided to accept the offer. On the other hand, we decided not to tell our daughter about this. Why? Because we did not want to have her to have much expectations, not to give her any hope. We wanted to search for her, but we did not want to give her false hope. If you decide to search for birth parents, you first have to think if it's in the best interest of your child. Can he or she handle it?
We decided to work with Jocelyn, but we realized we had to do it very carefully. It was just if we did something which was not allowed. And we did not want to talk about it with Eline or someone else. At first, Jocelyn came with the idea to contact a television station in Chongqing, where we could tell our story and ask the birth parents to come forward. We had to send a DVD to her which contained our story, who we are, why we want to search, what we expected, and also parts of the daily life of Eline. We had to film her, but we could not say what the real intention was for the filming. May 2005, it was broadcasted on Chongqing television on prime time at 8 o'clock in the evening. Because Jocelyn's phone number was put on the television screen, she received the reactions. There came a couple of reactions, but she recognized them as fake phone calls. Jocelyn did not live and work in Chongqing and only got home to Chongqing a couple of times a year. So the next opportunity for her to do something for us was in March 2006, during Chinese New Year. We planned that she would go to the finding spot and put up wallpapers at the place where Eline was found. That attracted the attention of a journalist, Mr. Tong Yonghua. He became interested in the story and offered us his help. We accepted his help and we sent the information to him that we had. And after 1 week searching, he found the birth parents. And that took us completely by surprise. Until that moment, we had not said anything to Eline. But now, we had to make a decision. Did we have to tell it to her or not? Meanwhile, we received the photos of Eline's family. And Eline really looked like her birth family. In our opinion, we had to make sure that the family was really the birth family.
We talked everything over and there was only one conclusion. We had to do a DNA test. Where and how was the next question. How would we organize this? The family lives in China, we live in the Netherlands. What do we have to do to collect DNA? Well, we searched on the internet, asked information from an organization of adopted families, and we obtained so much information, and everyone said something different. At the end, we decided to ask a well-known Dutch television program, KRO Spoorloos, you have seen the videos, it's called also Without a Trace, about the best way to proceed. And during conversation, they told us that they were preparing a program on adoption from China. The only item missing was a birth family search. We decided to work with them and we agreed that we would be in that program only if the DNA test would be positive. And why did we want to do a DNA test? Only for one reason. We wanted to be absolutely sure. What if you find out, maybe years later, that his family is not the birth family you assume it to be? How would your daughter feel? But also, how would the birth parents feel? It would be a second loss. We could not accept that. We did the search, so we felt responsible for our daughter as well as for the family of origin. On an MSN session on the internet, we told the family and the journalist that we wanted to do a DNA test, and the family immediately agreed. When we had to do the test by Eline, we told her that this could help to find her birth parents. At that time, there was a lot of talking about setting up a DNA data bank on the internet for adopted children from China. So it was very logical for us to tell this small lie to Eline. 15th November 2006, we received a phone call that the DNA test was positive in all points. We really had found Eline's birth parents.
Our story was broadcasted in the Netherlands. But just when you think the search ends, another story begins. How to stay in touch with each other. How to communicate. Does the family want to have contact, and can we handle this situation? Is Eline strong enough to handle all this? For us, as parents of Eline, there was no doubt that, because of the search, we also felt we had to continue this contact. We had to do everything to make it work. So we would do anything to keep the contact going on for Eline and her bird family. The family did not ask for all what was happening, so we felt it was our responsibility too. After the broadcast in January, September and October 2007, we received a lot of donations, and our thoughts were growing how we could help more people instead of only this family. February 2008, we established the Eline Foundation. We help the family so other children can finish their school, and we also support other children in the same position by giving them a scholarship for high school education.